Timberwolves now 6-9 after beating the New Orleans Pelicans at home. Final score of 107-100. This is Realistic Randy of the Mediokr Best Sports Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. This is the second game that the Timberwolves have played, second straight win following the second straight game that they've played since the trade of Jimmy Butler to the Philadelphia 76ers. By the way, Wolves fans, I bet you're happy to know, if you care or not, that the debut of Jimmy Butler with the Philadelphia 76ers resulted in an L after they lost to Orlando of all teams. They said, oh, we just got to figure it out. We'll see. But anyway, this is the second game that the Wolves have played following the Jimmy Butler trade. They've won both games, and this is actually the New Orleans Pelicans game. This is actually the first game that they've played with the debut of their new key pieces from the Jimmy Butler trade in Dario Saric and Robert Covington. Now, let me just start off with this. My only gripe with this game, as far as how it went, was that Dario Saric came off the bench. For what, Tibbs? Dario Saric was the third piece for that Philadelphia 76ers. He was part of that big three for the Philadelphia 76ers. A big reason for what Robert Covington, too, was a big reason. But Dario Saric was the third option on that Sixers team and a huge reason for why they were Eastern Conference contenders, okay? You take him. He's still super young. You're trying to develop him. You take him, a guy that's a starter, that's been a starter for most of his career, his young career, and a key piece for why the 76ers made it to go up against the Boston Celtics in the second round before getting eliminated. You took him and have him come off the bench for Taj Gibson? You serious right now? For real, Taj Gibson. And let's see right here. Let's see. Where's the box score at? Taj Gibson, yesterday against the New Orleans Pelicans. Taj Gibson played 28 minutes, okay? Dario Saric played 20 minutes, okay? So at one point, Dario Saric only played 9 minutes with like 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. And at that point, Taj played like 22. That was ridiculous, man. But anyway, that was my only gripe. There's no reason for this dude to come off the bench, okay? You're not going to win a championship. You need to develop this guy. This is a key piece that you brought in. Start this dude. Other than that, I thought the team looked great all around, except Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague was really good. He had the double-double with double digits assists. Good for him. But there are too many times where he's ball dominant and trying to just jack up a stupid shot and try to play hero ball too much. But overall, for the most part, you saw something from this team that you haven't seen all season. This was by far their best game of the season because a significant portion of the drama was gone in Jimmy Butler. But compared to before the Pelicans game, you saw what? A lot of ISO ball. That's all you saw for the most part with this team. ISO ball. Ball-dominant players, just hero ball. Just taking up just stupid contested shots, just dribbling the ball out for like 15, 16, 17 seconds, and then maybe you'll pass the ball or you take an ill-advised shot. You didn't see that much yesterday against the Pelicans. You saw a lot of ball movement. You saw a lot of energy. They're sharing the ball. They look like they're playing a lot more freer. And the acquisition of Rocco and Saric, you can tell because them dudes, they're used to ball movement with the Sixers. So them two, when they were on the floor at the same time, you could tell they had their chemistry there, that they were picking up where they left off in Philadelphia. They were just sharing the ball. At one point, and I think Jeff Van Gundy brought this up, at one point this was like, I don't know if it was like early in the second quarter or late in the first quarter. I think it was early in the second quarter, still in the first half, certainly, that Jeff Van Gundy, I'm pretty sure he mentioned this, at one point, the Timberwolves had 15 assists on 18 made field goals. That's unheard of. That's what you want. That is the new NBA that you need. And so when you look at that, this was the best that they played all season. I think that when you have Robert Covington made a couple of threes. He made a nice couple of threes. Let's see. He made, because he's a marksman at the three, okay? Robert Covington, he went 3 for 7 on three-point shots. Andrew Wiggins went 4 for 9, okay? And Dario Saric, he went 1 for 2. So those two, they can shoot three. Well, Andrew Wiggins can be spotty at best. But those two, when you spread the ball around like that, that's the thing. Floor spacing too. Floor spacing, floor. With Jimmy Butler, he doesn't space the floor, okay? With Rocco, and here's something that's crazy. I got a buddy of mine. He's a Sixers fan. And I knew Rocco, Robert Covington. I knew he was a defensive specialist. I knew he was a 3-and-D player, a two-way player, definitely can space the floor. I already knew that. But then he told me, he's like, oh, yeah, he was a 2018 first-team all-defense. I was like, wait, what? I didn't know that. First team all defense, Robert Covington. So that's some good stuff. And that's exactly what you need. The fact that they can spread the floor, you got to figure out a way to get Anthony Tolliver more minutes, you're going to have to trade either Taj Gibson or Gorgie Jang if you can find a way to do that, so that way you can get Anthony Tolliver out there on the bench. Because Anthony Tolliver, he played. Oh, he didn't even play at all. Oh, snap, he didn't even play at all. And what's crazy is Robert Covington in his first game played 41 minutes. 41 minutes in his first game as a Timberwolf. That's ridiculous. That can't continue on. But as far as everything that you saw yesterday against that Pelicans team, that was the best that they played all year. Team ball. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting just a little bit of a gloom and doom type of game, and Tibbs will run this team into the ground. Now you're running Covington into the ground with 41 minutes, but they look like they had a lot to prove. I love how Cat played yesterday. You can tell he's had a chip on his shoulder all season, especially when Jimmy Butler called him out. And there was one point, and I'm going to get into Andrew Wiggins a little bit too, all right? But he had a block on Anthony Davis, which led to the Andrew Wiggins dunk. But you could tell that Cat is trying to show out, man. He's getting a little bit tougher and tougher by the game, and you should encourage that. He's sensitive, but you need a coach. Hopefully Tibbs is giving a different approach to him, because you can't treat every player like Jimmy Butler. So he's playing really tough as of late. But Andrew Wiggins, oh my Lord, Andrew Wiggins, this dude, and here's the thing with Andrew Wiggins, this is the question mark about, or not the question mark, this is a statement about Andrew Wiggins that we've been saying this whole time. If this dude, and Andrew Wiggins is basically Anthony Barr, they're basically the same player. When they lock in and when they really give full effort like we know they can, they could be arguably one of the best players at their sport, Anthony Barr and Andrew Wiggins. But what we said about Andrew Wiggins, same with Anthony Barr, when they lock in, they can take their team over the top. They can take their team to a whole new level. The problem is you see that sparingly. Now with Andrew Wiggins last night, this dude was phenomenal on both ends of the floor. He had a block on Anthony Davis, all ball. At one point, now the Wolves, they were up by, I want to say like 15, 17 points at one point. And the Pelicans, they started chomping down at the bit at that score, at that deficit. At one point, they went on like a 15-2 run, and it was like, oh, man, right when you think the meltdown is coming, oh, here we go. Shouldn't have got excited, because in the first half, they were magnificent. And then in the second half, they got off to a rocky start. And you're like, oh, this meltdown is coming down. And who saved the day? Andrew Wiggins, of all players. Andrew Wiggins at one point, the Pelicans, they went up like 96, 94 at one point. And then Andrew Wiggins, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 96, 94. They just got the lead, or maybe 95, 94. But anyway, they just retook the lead after the Wolves being up for basically the entire point of the game up until midway through the third quarter. Andrew Wiggins gets a key steal on the defensive end, then rushes down to the other end of the floor and draws a foul. Then, not only that, I think the next possession, or maybe flip-flop, I don't remember. But then the next possession, if I'm not mistaken, this dude Andrew Wiggins hits a three, a timely three. Okay, so Andrew Wiggins was making plays. Then the play of the game. Oh, wait, no, before I get to the play of the game, at one point, see, Andrew Wiggins, if his IQ is just, sometimes he just loafs around, kind of like just womp, 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 womp. And he just walks around just looking all sad and down, and just his head is just stuck between his shoulders, just looking down at the ground, and he's just hovering around the three-point line, just walking around, glitz and glamour, not doing much of anything. But there was a key play yesterday, and he didn't make this field goal, but that's with the effort that you want to see. At one point, I think Cat had the ball in the paint. He got blocked a couple of times in the paint. Anthony Davis was there, and maybe Julius Randle was there as well. Kicked it out to Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was about to shoot it. Normally, he would be like, all right, just shoot it, because normally when he gets the ball, you're not getting the ball back. He passed it out, kicked it out to Jeff Teague last second. Jeff Teague took a three-point shot, and as the ball left Jeff Teague's hand, Andrew Wiggins headed straight to the basket just in case there was a rebound opportunity available, and boy, was it ever. The ball, it bricked off the back iron, went up in the air. Andrew Wiggins, I'm telling you right now, Andrew Wiggins leaped into the sky, nearly grabbed the ball and nearly jammed it off of a rebound putback slam. A flush, nearly had it. And I think he got fouled. He nearly dunked on like 4 people. 2 of them being Pelicans players and 2 of them being his teammates, okay? And that is what you want to see. And then the play of the game, I'm telling you right now. Karl-Anthony Towns had the block on Anthony Davis, and you could tell he's just feeling himself. Passed it out to Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is walking up the floor. Cat comes back up to the three-point line. past the half-court line. Andrew Wiggins passed it back to Karl Anthony Towns. Andrew Wiggins does a quick shift move. He goes to his left and goes back to his right and then heads to the basket, cuts to the basket, leaves his man. I don't know who was guarding him. Leaves his man as he cuts to the basket. Cat passes him the ball, and this dude, Andrew Wiggins, gets fouled by two different players and slams it. No, this dude got bumped in two different directions. Look, all right, I saw the kick. I don't think it was intentional at all. People's like, oh, it's Draymond Green. Draymond Green, I defended Draymond Green so much, I couldn't defend him after a while because he just kept kicking people in the you-know-what. But this dude, Andrew Wiggins, he's just a high, freakish athlete that he's just soaring through the sky, and his legs went out for a dunk attempt. I don't think that was intentional at all. But this dude got bodied, got bumped in two different ways, going up for the ball or going up for the slam. And I was saying that normally we see a ball player go up and they get bumped a little bit. They're not good. They can maybe just put it back in for a tap-in pass or a tap-in layup or just loft it in for a layup. You don't really see them finish the flush that much unless like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, or Vince Carter in his prime. You don't really see it that much anymore. Or maybe even Blake Griffin in his prime too, DeAndre Jordan. You don't really see that much anymore. So when he got bumped those two times, I was saying, oh, there's no way he's going to finish that because he was definitely going for the slam. I was like, he's not going to finish that. This dude still, like, floated in the air. It's like he stood in air for a hot second and still flushed the ball down into the court for the slam. I jumped off the couch. I was screaming. I was like, oh, snap. Andrew Wiggins took over that game because the Pelicans, they were about to take over the game and they were taking all momentum. They were about to take that win after a great start by the Wolves, and Andrew Wiggins was Andrew Wiggins and Cat, but definitely Andrew Wiggins was the primary guy. I never thought I'd say this in my life. He was responsible for the Timberwolves winning that game and closing out the game with dominance. That's what you need to see. If he does that, where he just turns on that light bulb in his head, I think this dude needs a mind coach, all right? Not a therapist, a mind coach, okay? You see this in sports sometimes where there's these coaches out there, they get them jacked up or they get them just to be energized throughout a whole game. He needs that because if he can do that on a consistent basis, just try hard. That's literally all you got to do. Just try hard. Your effort, look, even if you miss a bucket or whatever, you get fouled or whatever, the effort will not go unnoticed. Just do that. He can take this team to a whole new level. That was the best that I've seen Andrew Wiggins play. Dude, I jumped off the couch. I'm not even a Wolves fan. I got so jacked up for that. And you know it's funny. You know how after a team wins a Super Bowl championship, or they go out there, they win a trophy or whatever, or an NBA championship or whatever, and then 9 months later, you see a smorgasbord full of babies just come out of nowhere. Like, oh, where are these babies coming? Like, oh, these are the Super Bowl babies. You know, they're the result of my team winning the Super Bowl. 9 months later, here's our kids. You know, and you just see a plethora of them. I wouldn't be surprised if you just see a big-ass uptick of babies come out of nowhere 9 months later. Like, where did these babies come from? Be like, look, man, that Andrew Wiggins dunk, called the Andrew Wiggins dunk, baby. Man, that Andrew Wiggins dunk, man, I'm telling you right now, I got so excited, and we couldn't contain ourselves after that, man. Had a good time that night. So I'm telling you right now, that was some good stuff. You want to see that more and more from Andrew Wiggins. That takes that team to a whole new level. That was fun. That was fun to watch. These fans deserve it. They don't deserve this crap that they've been having to go through anymore. I would have been saying, like, you know what? They're going to continue this crap of ineptitude. I said most of the or a significant portion of the drama is gone because Jimmy Butler is gone. That doesn't mean it's all gone. Tibbs is still there. You brought Dario Saric off the bench. What the hell was you thinking? And Glenn Taylor is there. But for right now, that is a fantastic start. Those two players, they're going to change this team. Floor spacing, floor spacing, floor spacing. And with Cat adding threes too. Oh, look out. This is going to be some good stuff. So anyway, we do this twice a week now. Mediokr at Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Follow the page, YouTube, iTunes, Facebook at Realistic Randy, Twitter at Realistic_Randy. Thanks for tuning in for the show, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next week.